that the Most High is the power of heaven, man. And they know this, man. And they know that if they keep bringing it out, people gonna start looking it up and want to know what's going on. Who are these Israelites?
That's what they did.
Are we Israelites?
That's what they did in 9/11. The apostles had to take down the channel.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the word was getting out there, and the word is getting out here because it's time for it to get out here, man.
That's right.
It's time. This is the day and the time that the Lord concisely put in the algorithm that it's going to be that day that he's getting the clock ticking. This is time. The clock is ticking to the point that 11th hour is coming, man. And we're close to martial law. We're close to martial law very soon. You think we're not? We're close to it. They are not putting these skirmishes out here for no reason. You can laugh, because he who laugh now should cry later. I rhyme better than the private player hater.
Later.
Spectators, they're gonna watch and see this. The reason I said that because it was just trying to be silly, but you're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. And you're not gonna be spectators. You're gonna be trying to be hiding in the holes of the rocks, man. And trying to bury yourself. And then see, with those men that was out here on this road, they're gonna stop that. We're not gonna be out here. We're not going to be out here speaking of the word that the Lord has put out here and processed and try to give us the message. Because he only has a certain amount of men that's supposed to come out here and hear this. It's only going to be sparked. You got to be a special man to understand and hear this. The Lord has to be special. You got to be thankful that the Lord has put this spark in your ear to even obtain this and put a net out here that you can capture the word that is being spoken out here and being put out here and presented. Because if you see 2/3 walk down here every day, they want to party. All you want to do is party. But what's going to do, the biggest party is going to be, the biggest fireworks is going to be them nukes, the end all be all. So you're going to worship, you're going to keep worshiping Session Borgia. That's going to, you're going to worship the sun. You're going to worship all the moon, stars, quasars. You're going to worship fish, Dagon. You're going to still do what you want to do. Keep doing what you want to do, because he didn't say there was going to be a whole world that's going to be saved. He said many are called and few are chosen. So there's going to be, so Lord willing, we are those men. We can't say we are those, we're going to be saved. But at least I did the work. At least I tried to do this work. But you got to give it all. Go ahead.
Back at 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city.
So now I was saying, look, you're gonna desire to go into a city. They're not gonna regard their kings, their princes, their judges. Martial law is gonna be set forth. It's gonna be, the city's gonna be shut down. A man gonna desire to see somebody. You're gonna be probably by yourself for a minute. You know, by yourself. That's when the Lord, you got to pray. That's when you better be prayed. What they say, prayed up in the church. You better pray every minute, because you don't know what's gonna be around the corner. Because the so-called Edomites, you know, they turn into goddamn super factors, man. Or they come to eat you. Or they, you know, your son or your daughter is not safe. You can't think you're gonna go into your own buildings or your houses and be safe. It's gonna be niggas gonna come and try to get that. Niggas gonna try to go to the damn birds to get their food, to their stockpiles, to their bunkers. Some reason niggas or the Lord gonna put on the men of the Lord to find their bunkers and find all the food in there. Go ahead, read.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
So you're not going to be able to enter the city because they're going to shut the cities off. They're going to shut these cities off. Martial law is imminent. It's coming. That's why they're setting up everything that's coming. I see that. You see that? Yeah, I think those. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I just thought I saw something.
That's in this. I remember. Because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Right, the men gonna be afraid. Men gonna be afraid because men are gonna be afraid because this is something that's never gonna be seen before. Right now in America, we're free. We're free to move as we want. Even though we're not free, we're free to move as we want. Even though it's laws that prohibit us in certain ways that even lead a country. You really can't lead this country without a passport.
Like a big backyard.
That's it. That's all it is.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead.
So, we under the new covenant or the old covenant?
Okay, now we know who we're dealing with.
All right, so basically we're under a new covenant, but it hasn't been established through the Most High Yahweh by Shem Shah yet. So we are to follow the old covenant to the best of our ability, and still understand and that there's grace within it. Meaning we have to have grace to one another as brothers, you know, and having mercy. And we gotta have grace in the sense of when we judge ourselves when we go off, because we're not perfect. You see what I'm saying? So we can't be too strenuous on the law. We just are to tell our brother, you know what I'm saying, and deal with the law according to what the way it's written, but to the best of our ability, because we can't follow the law fully in its captivity. We still in captivity, and a lot of our people that's in Christianity don't understand that. So what they try to think they do is, and then you got people out there saying that the law's done away with. When the law ain't gonna be done away with, because if you turn to Revelation chapter 22 and some other chapters in Revelations where the Lord said the book is gonna be open, what he gonna be judging everybody by? By the law. So the law ain't done away with.
What are you talking about? Revelation
And we can
12?
22, he said, and if your name be written, Daniel spoke about it too. Those that their names written in the book. All right. Then you have another book where he gonna have open, where he's gonna judge. Let me see if I can get it.
I got
Oh, you got it?
I got
Go
something.
ahead.
This is Acts, because you asked about because I'm assuming you're wondering about the law in the New Testament, how some people say that we're not supposed to keep it. But this is Acts 24:14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the Most High of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and the prophets, which is the Old Testament. So he was.
Why did you ask that question?
Yeah, who y'all asking? First of all, who y'all with? Who y'all study under? We can tell it ain't GMS, but who y'all study with? We know, just to be honest, man. Come on. Who you study under?
We Christians.
No.
Yeah, they go Baptist church.
It just seems as though they're trying to learn.
Are you
This
with
is what
church?
we know.
Okay.
So then,
So why'd you ask that
Why do you
question?
ask that question?
so he asked that question because he want to know how are you under one covenant or one agreement, and he asked when does the other agreement start?
Because
Hebrews 8.
okay, go to amen. Okay, so
because it hasn't been established.
what whole thing is this is what we're under right now. We couldn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly at this point because we're under this flesh. But when the Lord comes back, He's going to give us a fleshly heart. Yeah, and then from that stony heart which we have now. And so what we're going to do when the Lord comes, that's why we got to wait for our power to give us that fleshly heart. We can't do nothing without Him. Nothing. That's why He has the second covenant. Go ahead, Bob.
This is Hebrews chapter 8. I'm started around. Let's go. It says I'm started 6. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant. All right.
Okay, better means the other one was not perfect.
Well, it's going to explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
It says better covenant, which was established upon better promises. That first covenant was established with who? Israel. And let's read. Let's see who the next one's going to be established with. All right. It says, for if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second.
What was the
for
first
finding
covenant?
fault with them. Because
What was the
it's
first
going to go
covenant?
into it.
First covenant was with Israel.
Yeah.
What was it? Okay.
All right. It says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel.
What is the new covenant?
What do you mean by the new covenant?
What is the new covenant?
The new
Jeremiah 31:31. That's the new covenant.
All
So
right.
now, when are we going to receive that new covenant?
Well, from the way the Bible is written, that new covenant is established as soon as Jesus Christ died.
Oh.
And Luke 22:20 said, likewise also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you.
So then, as soon as his blood was shed, the covenant was established
That's why
right
I
then.
said. That's why I said we're under it. That's why when you said it the first time I said we're under it. But when you
But
go,
they won't
So how,
receive it
the
yet.
question is, how are you under both?
Hold on 1 second. Give me do we make void the law? Pull that, please, because you have to understand what is the new covenant. All right, the new covenant is began because he shed his blood, and when you go, if you read the book of Hebrews, it breaks it down real clearly. All right, and it tells you that the priest had the place to atone for the nation of Israel's sins. Now, the priests themselves had to atone for their own sins and the people's sins, and they were still constantly blemished. All right, so the Lord need unblemished sacrifice, and He came down to be that. Which, if you have blood, that starts a covenant. So His blood was shed, started the covenant. Now, it has to be fulfilled. It hasn't been fulfilled. It will be fulfilled when He comes back.
What do
And
you mean
then
it hasn't?
let me read this.
Question. How can it not be fulfilled when the covenant started? It started with a sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying.
then,
It started
if Jesus
there.
is sacrificed, the covenant started.
Yeah, that's what I said when He first came up here. Though. That's what I said. So we are to still follow the Old Testament because the Old Testament is one in the same.
How do
See,
you
now
follow
this is how we're gonna get to understanding. Now look, so for finding fault with them, He said, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them out of their hand to lead them out of the land." Could you hold your peace, please? The land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, I regard them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord. After those days, saith the Lord. After those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people.
Right.
All right, now give me that what I wanted.
Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the law
Now this
through
is Paul,
faith?
right? It's like this is Paul, right? We go to, I believe it's like Romans 11 or 10, where Paul goes in and he talks about him being a Pharisee. Pharisees were all into the laws, all right? That the word Pharisee itself means to be a separate one, all right? They operated under the so-called Mosaic law, all right? Now Paul was enlightened by the Lord in Acts 9. When he got knocked off that horse and he got blinded or whatever, and he immediately believed, and therefore he had to understand something. What he had to understand? We go to, what is that, Romans 7, when Paul talks about a law in his members, warring against the law and law of the Lord. All right, there was something that the Israelites couldn't obtain. They couldn't attain the full righteousness because they're in the flesh. So the Lord is going to change us. He's going to translate us, if you will, and He's going to put the laws into the Israelites' mind and their hearts, and they're going to be the leaders. All right? But Christ was the first, the Alpha and Omega. He's the first one that received the laws. All right, and He was the first one to be translated, if you want to say it like that.
Let's grab some of those scriptures you're quoting. This is Romans 7, and I'll start at verse 14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so under sin. For that which I do, I allow not for what I would. That do I not, but what I hate, that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good."
So what did that say? What did that mean? What did that mean?
You asked me what it meant. I understand. I really wasn't listening because I asked a question and the answer was never answered or
Okay, but what did that? What's the question?
We're answering you precept upon precept, line upon line.
We flip.
here or there. Look, the question that I asked was, how is it that you are under two covenants at the same
Who
time?
said
Because
we-
the Bible doesn't.
so-
Your man just said that
I
y'all
said you can
are
say
under
it's
one
like one and the same.
and saying this one is, but it's not
can't-
one and the same.
It's not going to happen till the Lord comes, bro.
Well,
We're not going to.
well, let us-
If that's the case, then
It's
what
not
you're
going to
saying is
happen
opposite of what the
wholeheartedly
Bible
until
says.
the whole. So it's not going to wholeheartedly. So look, while we still in this flesh is what Paul is repeating. He's saying, "I'm in this flesh." Even at that point, he's still in the flesh. We're in this flesh. We're not spirit. We're
What's
not
that have to do
100%
with receiving
spiritual,
the covenant?
but we're not going to get it until the kingdom comes.
That's not what it said.
So you tell me, what do you got? So what you do? Your fringes? Where your fringes at?
I don't need no fringes.
See, why you tell me
that's
that? Give me
the same thing
15.
that they
Give
said.
me Numbers 15. Give me
Listen,
the 1538. But you're not
talking
getting
about
it.
fringes.
I'm not even